If simplicity is the word you are calling in for 2026, this episode is for you because I am going to break down what a simple business actually looks like at a high level. So, a simple business that makes a lot of money. So, not a small business, okay, not a basic business, because that's different, but a strategic, very intentional business that is going to be able to sustain your lifestyle, making way more money than what you need, and that is built to last. Also, a business that is going to give to a lot of charity projects, a lot of different projects that you have, and not simply to making the money for your business. So, something that I want to break down today is the three pillars that I see every sustainable, high performing business built on, and exactly why this is the work we do with my clients and why it's only three pillars and why we need to keep this so simple compared to the chaos of having 1,000 offers, 1,000 funnels, 1,000 of everything. So let's not be basic, but let's keep things with simplicity and intentionality. So many women say they want simplicity. Oh, yes, I want something simple. But what they usually mean is that they want to feel less overwhelmed, that they see too many things, they have too many plates, that they are juggling in the sky in their hands at the same time. And so for myself, what I mean by simplicity and what I'm going to talk about today is that we actually have fewer moving parts. So we don't have so many things that we need to update all the time, because everything that we create that needs to be updated is a constant nightmare. That we have very clear priorities on what we are doing at the moment, and also system that support you instead of draining you. So it's not like let's create a system that we have to update all the time that are very high maintenance. I don't like high maintenance. I like low maintenance. I don't know about you. A business that is going to work whether you are fully in, and we have seasons in our life, in our month, in the years that we are fully in, but there will be some moment where we want to take a step back. Sometimes we want to take a step back after hosting an event, after hosting a retreat. Sometimes we want to take a step back when we are going on a holiday. Sometimes we want to take a step back because something happened in our family and we need to be present, or because we are raising children. There can be so many reasons that you want to step back, and I'm not here to find any reason, but it's going to be so much easier to actually step back if you have a simple business. And a simple business is so simple, obviously, but it's also a great way to work with an assistant, with a virtual assistant or an OBM. They will love your simple business, and it's going to be for them super easy to actually take over some task from you if your business is simple. When your business is a mess, it is very hard to actually delegate anything. So simplicity here is not about doing just less for the sake of it. And something that I want to point out here is that most of my clients, they love working. They love working. They love their businesses. They love their clients. It's actually hard for them when they are in holidays to not have client calls, to not work at all. And it's really a different rhythm because they live in abundance and overflow of knowledge, of wanting to give to their clients. And I recognize this for myself because sometimes, even if it's the weekend, even if I'm supposed to, I say supposed to because that's part of what I do for myself is to only work 4 days a week. Sometimes I just really want to do something else. And you know what? Well, last week I didn't work so much because my son was sick and was at home. But I spent my Sunday updating one of my funnel, and it was the best time ever. I had the best time ever. I didn't go anywhere. I just had a massage and then updated my funnel. And I said to my husband at the end of the day, oh my God, this was the best day ever. I just want tomorrow to be the same. So if that resonates with you, what I want to say here is that I understand that there is a front end of our business and a lot of things that we want to be doing. But what I'm going to share with you is how to make things really simple and actually doing the things in the, not specifically the correct order, actually, because and that sucks, like having to follow a recipe step by step, but really on looking at what will be the 3 pillars that I need to put in my business to make my business so simple this year, and be very intentional with the decision I'm making as a CEO and as a leader. So one of the things that we need to understand first is that most complex businesses, they are usually the one that are built reactively. So that means that they're going to constantly react. Oh, I have an idea. I'm going to create an offer. Yeah, amazing. And honestly, like, yes, let's do that. Oh, I'm going to create this. Okay, I'm going to create this small funnel from this to this. Oh, I've seen this strategy. I'm going to do this right now. And we accumulate this, and this can be in a week. And we accumulate this every week, having so many more things that are going. And one thing that I want to say straight away here is that I'm not saying that you're going to create 2 offers and that's the only thing you're going to sell for 10 years. No, because we are going to be bored as hell if we were doing this. So the idea is to really have a solid base that we're going to work from, and that anything that we're going to create as a reaction of an idea, a download, something, is going to be able to live in our simple ecosystem, is going to have a place in our ecosystem. Because a simple business is actually harder to build. It's actually harder to build because what it requires 3 things. It requires clarity, a lot of clarity. And clarity means that you sat down as a CEO and actually thought with intention of where everything is going and what you are building. And by the way, doing this work is what is going to massively grow your business, having a lot of clarity instead of always being in reaction mode. The second thing that it requires to build a simple business, and that's not our 3 pillars, by the way, but just what it requires in terms of quality, is decision making. If you are taking 6 months to make the decision of little things in your business, of course, your business is not going to be simple because you're going to accumulate all the time. So we need to just clear up this to-do list, have a smaller to-do list if you can't finish it, but we need to make decisions and really step into the seat of the CEO who is running a business. You are running a business. And the last element here is leadership, by the way, and really taking leadership and seeing how am I leading my community? Because it's not about you anymore. It's not just you. People are looking up to you. The way you are building your business right now, people are looking up to you. They may not say anything, but I can tell you, I just had a client call, a one-to-one client call. And she told me that before working with me, and she was in my mastermind maybe a year ago, and it took her 3 years of following me on. She was looking at all of my moves, and even now between the mastermind and working with me one-to-one, I didn't see her liking any of my posts or answering any of my emails, but she was looking at everything. And she told me that it's really because also of the leader that I am that she wanted to work with me, and that it was an evidence she didn't want to work with anyone else. So what I want to share with you here is that it is not just about you. And leadership is this. It's also seeing that what we are growing is growing responsibility. And this is why also we need to implement more simplicity in our business. And that's a CEO level choice that we are making. So now let's see the 3 pillars of a simple, scalable business that's going to make shit tons of money. Pillar number 1 is to have a smart ecosystem of offers. And you may be thinking, yeah, I'm fine. I already know my offers and I know I have an ecosystem of offer. But I think we can always refine this a little bit, because if one person is not buying everything, or at least multiple of your offers, there is something to be refined here. And simplicity here, remember, does not mean that one offer is going to live forever, okay? It means that every single offer that you have is going to work together in synergy. So what I want you to understand is, I have one of my clients, she was just asking me, how can she build an ecosystem of offer for her business when she has very, very different things that she's offering? And they may seem like they are not connected together. But on a deeper layer, and when we look at her personal brand, which is what she's building, they can be linked together. And so there is a way of building an ecosystem of offer that is not going to put you in a box also. And you probably see me as I have, like, all of my front end marketing is around funnels. Yeah, but it is not the only thing that I do with my clients, but my front marketing is about funnel. And for some people, doing just one thing like this is going to put them in a box. And if for you, it put you in a box and you feel this is not how I'm going to feel expanded, feel alive, let's not fucking do this. So here, the question that we want to see is, that we want to ask ourselves rather, is, do my offer talk to each other? Are they in link to each other, or how can they be? And do people naturally know where to go next? And maybe I think that yes, this offer is the next best offer after it, but how do I communicate this? Do people buy the other one? Where did I communicate this? In the program, in the emails after the program, or during the program? Where did I communicate this? Or am I also constantly trying to create something new to generate cash? So every time I need money, do I sell micro offer, or do I sell a new offer? And I have to create something new. If every time you need to make money, you are creating something new, this is very exhausting. And this is not simple. It is not a simple way of making money, but you can do it. Of course, I have so many of my friends, entrepreneurs, who are doing this, and they're usually doing this for 1 or 2 years. And then they're like, fuck this, I need to have simplicity in my business. And yes, I'm going to still create more offers if I want to, not because I need to make cash, or even not because I want to sell my signature program. We shouldn't need to do a micro offer or even a mid-ticket offer every single time we want to drive traffic to our signature program. So we want our ecosystem of offer to be very intentional, with intentional entry points that can be evergreen. So it's not all the time reaction, creation of something being live. And we want to see that it serves different needs of our clients without confusing our audience. Because sometimes we may create a lot of different offers and they sound a little bit the same, and then our client doesn't know which one is for them. So when you apply this first pillar about your ecosystem of offer, a smart ecosystem of offer, this is how you're going to stop rebuilding your business every 6 months, and you're going to have a strong base. When you have a strong base, it doesn't mean that it's not going to change. And I feel sometimes we are scared about building something big because we think this is going to live forever. I had one of my Mastermind Elevate that is closed now, that I ran from 2021 to 2025. So I ran this for 4 years, right? And this was big. This was a big part of my identity. But now I just moved on. It took me a year to move on, to be very honest. But this was such a solid part of my business. And what I have seen, sometimes I had some years I had 30 to 50 people inside. And some years, by the way, I had less numbers. I also want to be transparent with that. So something that I have seen is that having a solid base also help people to know what is the space to come in when they want to work with you. That makes it very simple, because for people, they just associate you with this offer. So for me, they all knew that the best way to work with me was to come inside Elevate. Then, of course, I had some different type of offers that were leading to it, but a lot of them were evergreen. Now, the pillar number 2 is passive and predictable sales. So when we think about making a simple business and building one that is, yes, going to be able to live for a long time, we need to already think about having some sort of passive sales. And this is not something that you need to do only with funnels. So it's not because when you have funnels, yes, you're going to have passive sales, but you can also have passive sales with what I call a silent sales system, which doesn't really involve a funnel. And that means that maybe one offer is going to sell another offer. Maybe this offer is evergreen and it's selling the other offer straight in. Maybe you don't have a funnel to do this. You can also have different way of selling your offer through YouTube content, through podcast, through different type of touch point where people will actually start to connect more with you and start binging a lot of things. But what I want you to see is that to have a simple business, we need to have specific platforms where we can have long form content. For example, what you are listening to right now or watching goes on YouTube and in my podcast currently, and also have a blog that leads people with my SEO skills into my website, and people making sales straight away from this and coming into passive sales, into funnels, and so on. So what I want you to see is that for me, this is simple. For me, this is simple because I have Instagram and then I post one podcast or YouTube video that I do at the same time every week. And then someone writes the blog post for me from this content and from the transcript of what you are listening now. So we want something simple. This takes me less than an hour, right? Because it probably takes me 15 to 30 minutes to record this, and then I just send it. So that's it. It doesn't take me more, and my team is doing the rest of the work. But how can we build more passive sales and more predictable sales? Something that I want you to see is that we are not going to only make money through being visible. Being visible is cool, okay? It's cool, and like I'm discovering so many ways of being more visible, even with trial reels. Like at the moment, all the trial reels I'm posting are getting like 50,000, 70,000 views. It's absolutely amazing, by the way, for visibility and the strategy that I'm sharing with my clients at the moment. But what I want you to see is that beyond being visible is amazing when you have the structure and the foundation for it. So when someone will come in, they will have all of the things that they can binge. They will have maybe some funnels. They will have a lot of things that is going to support them in making the best decision for them. So when we look at simple businesses, they have systems that sell in the background. These systems are not always funnels, as I was sharing with you. And that's why I call this more a silent sales system. Because a silent sales system includes anything that you are not actively every single day talking about. So I make sales from offers that I don't talk about at all on my social media. And those offers link either from my website or from different places in podcast or so on. And this leads into people clicking on the link and either buying straight away. And sometimes there is no funnel. And sometimes there is a funnel. We don't have to spend weeks by building funnels for everything, by the way. This is not how it works. Funnels are really important, but it's not the only thing. Something also that all businesses that are very simple have is a clear buyer journey and a backend that is going to do the heavy lifting in supporting a client in making a decision in the timing that is good for them. And a backend that is able to react is going to be doing that. So instead of you being the one reacting and looking at, oh, this person is interested in this, let me DM them. You want to have a backend system that is able to identify your hot leads and send them the right emails at the right time. And this is so possible to do. For many, many years, platforms, email service platforms are able to do this and tell you which lead is hot and then sending them something specific or just giving you a notification for you to reach out to them. But this is such an important work. And by the way, like this work of building passive and predictable sales is what we do inside Funnel Queen Mastermind and inside the First Year's Funnel Workshop. So the First Year's Funnel Workshop is a workshop where I teach you how to build a funnel that is going to be selling your low ticket offer. And in Funnel Queen Mastermind, we build a funnel that is going to sell probably your signature program or anything that you feel like it, but you're going to learn with me during 5 weeks how to build your funnel, and we do it together. So it's a done with you program that is, by the way, included in my 12 months elite mastermind. And when you have this predictable sales systems through a funnel, let's say, you are going to have sales coming in all the time. And we really also think about what is the strategy for people to actually come in, because if not, you can have a funnel and no one comes in and then you don't make any sales. which then also, this is going to lead me to our third pillar. And so the third pillar of a simple business that makes tons of money is client experience, client retention, and also the client delivery. And I feel like this is a pillar that most people ignore until they make a lot of money. And I feel it is one that is also responsible for a lack of trust from a lot of people who have invested in the past and thinking, I'm not sure that I can invest again a lot of money in a mentor, in a coach, or in services because it wasn't to the expectations that I had. Simple business, something that they do very well is that they look at what is their highest level of opportunity in their business. And the highest level of opportunity in your business is always the clients who already worked with you and who are here right now. So how can you retain your current clients? And so when you think about it in terms of making money today, if I wanted to make money today, I will sell an offer to a current client. I will not do a masterclass at $27. This is not what I will do with cold traffic, people that haven't bought from me before, meaning they either don't know me or they said no every time instead of people that say yes all the time. And this is, by the way, a work that we also do with my clients on how do we retain clients is, yes, of course, invitations, we called, invite them into something else, but it's also creating the best freaking experience for them. And creating repeat buyers start way before actually someone is buying on the entire experience that they have in your world. That's why your backend experience is also important and why it should be supportive. And then the moment they start paying you, we have to understand that the first 48 hours to 72 hours, people are going to doubt their investment the most. So we want to make sure that during this time, when we are creating the experience, we want to make sure that we are doing some very specific steps here in the onboarding process of someone so they feel secured, safe from their investment and from working with you in the program they just signed up in. Another thing to look at in this third pillar here, like regarding, yes, the experience, but also the delivery. So how do we deliver our programs is really going to show if we are going to have clients that are going to stay with us forever or not. If we tend to have programs where no one is resigning, no one buy other stuff, there is a problem with the delivery. And delivery is so important, and to have intentionality in it, because we do want to build a world where people are going to stay for a long time, even when we are raising our rates. So your backend is not just for sales. Okay, we want to really look at it as an experience. And how someone feels working with you is going to really determine if they're going to stay, if they're going to buy again, if they're going to refer you. And all of this is your highest bucket of opportunity. Yeah, this is really where you're going to make the most money quickly, is when people stay, when they buy other stuff, or when they refer you. And what I'm seeing for myself at the moment, if I just look at today, so just today, the day I'm recording this, I had one of my clients inside Funnel Queen Mastermind. I did a giveaway, and one person did win a one-to-one. And this person, even after winning, she went into my first year's, into the 21-day funnel challenge, which is a free experience. And she went and said how amazing is Funnel Queen Mastermind because she's having such an amazing experience. And because she went in, another person that saw this, that is also in Funnel Queen Mastermind, started to send another messages. All of these women are referring me to women that they know to build funnels. Everyone who is working with me is referring me because of the experience that I'm building for them. And you know what? It doesn't mean that it's simple, that it doesn't mean it is simple, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. Sometimes I have a client who will come to me and come in my space, and we have a very different way of working. And you know what? That makes me a better coach. That makes me a better mentor, a better consultant, however I want to be called those days. But what I want to say is that the client experience is not built just from our head, but from people feedback and from the experience that they are getting. And sometimes what you could be seeing as someone who is not having a good experience is actually challenging you in how can you make it better? Because this type of person is not having the best experience. Do you want this type of people to have the best experience? If yes, how can you make it better? This is how you have people referring you again and again and again and buying from you again and again. The women who are inside Funnel Queen Mastermind, I already have 5 women who are like, how can I work with you after Funnel Queen Mastermind? And we just started like 2 weeks ago. So delivery is so important. The way you deliver the experience. And in full transparency, when I look at Funnel Queen Mastermind, the last cohort that I did compared to this cohort, I changed a lot of things in my delivery. One example is that instead of delivering the training live, I actually pre-recorded modules where it's broken down in small, shorter videos compared to the big training that I was doing that was 1 or 2 hours every week. And then I replaced the call with hot seat coaching calls, and they feel so much more supported and they have better understanding. I share with them all of the slides also so they can really have a good experience. So the one who needs to look back and just want to see the slides, they can see the slides. I am making the experience as good as possible. High standards across every touch point. That's what we want to think. So now, when there's 3 pillars outlined, what you're going to see is that you're not going to really have to look at, oh, do I need to launch a new masterclass today to make money? No, you're going to have already systems in the backend that are making money for you every day, or at least every week, bringing sales, bringing leads to your signature program, booking calls if calls are a thing that you are doing, or bringing conversation in your DM if you are doing conversion in your DM. But what is important is that this is what is going to build a simple system. So when I look back at those 3 pillars, the first one was the scalable business with an ecosystem of offer. Yeah, so your ecosystem being very smart. The pillar number 2 was to have passive and predictable sales, not just with funnels, but with a silent sales system. And then our pillar number 3 was the client experience, the retention, and how we deliver this experience. So what I want you to see is that we have to stop overcomplicating it. But if we are in reaction mode and not in CEO mode, where we are not sitting and having time to think, to write down, to journal on how the experience in our business is going to feel, then it's actually very difficult to build a simple system. When you build a simple system, you're going to stop feeling also like you need to do everything at once. You're going to have a clear plan on what needs to be done this month and what needs to be done in 2 months, because it is absolutely not the same. And your business becomes so easy. Okay, it's easier to run your business because it's designed that way. It's designed to be easy to run. It's designed also to let you the space to create an offer from your brain in 4 minutes, launch it, host it 2 weeks later, and then plug it back in your backend and make sales every single week from it again and again, while delivering the best client experience possible. This is, by the way, exactly the work, those 3 pillars I do with my clients and what I'm bringing in Elite Mastermind. Elite Mastermind is a completely new mastermind I'm launching very soon. And that's for the woman who wants to build a simple system, but who is already launching, who is doing all of the things. And she's like, okay, I'm posting content, I'm launching, I'm making money, but I know that I am the bottleneck in my business. And that the reason I will not be able to make more money is because of myself and because I am responsible for making sales. Inside Elite, you also get access to Funnel Queen Mastermind and all of my other offers, live and recorded, where we're going to work on all those 3 pillars. So if your word for 2026 is simplicity, this is where we are going to do the work to make this a reality. Remember that simplicity is not basic. We don't want to be basic. I can't wait to see more of this energy in 2026, to be honest, on women developing simple businesses that can work even without them. Send me a DM on social media, on Instagram, if you want to have more details about Elite or about Funnel Queen Mastermind or one of my one-to-one spaces, as I still have one spot this month for fractional backend and funnel strategy and a long-term one-to-one on 12 months with 1 week per month of support. If any of this sounds like, hell yes, I need to make my business simple and I need this, we are a match. Send me a DM. Bye, everyone.